Hi everyone, it's Illy865 here, and I'm back after actually a long time. It's been a little bit more than a month since my last video, but back for the top 50 comics in my collection tag. Actually, omegashinryuken and Boom City tagged me for this video. I gotta thank them for that tag, because I've been wanting to show off more comics that I had in my collection, but um, been pretty busy. Was out of town a lot of last month in May, and haven't been buying as many books. But I guess I'll just show off these top 50. With number 50, actually I'm gonna go with my Uncanny X-Men 510 variant. It's the color variant. It's not the black and white dual, but it's a great J. Scott Campbell Psylocke cover. And other than that, like, I love J. Scott Campbell's work, and Psylocke's one of my favorite X-Men, so to see that together, I know this book is pretty hot now because Psylocke is going to be in the next X-Men Apocalypse movie, so really glad I was able to pick it up when it did release. Didn't pay that much during the time too, so that was great. With number 49, I'm gonna go with my Invincible Iron Man 25. This is the variant that was given at SDCC in 2010, and this was a variant that I think only people that actually asked the question at the Cup of Joe panel got, and it was signed by Matt Fraction. And he actually wrote, "Do you like cookies?" right here. I actually wasn't at the con, but I found this on eBay right at the end of SDCC. Somebody had sold theirs. And I know that this is one of the rarest copies of Invincible Iron Man 25, and it is the first appearance of the Bleeding Edge armor, so really glad to have this. I mean, I especially like this armor from Iron Man 2. So that was awesome. This next one, 48, was a book I'd gotten recently. It was Next Men 21, which is the first color appearance of Hellboy. I actually got this in my local comic shop last week, and I found it in the 5 for $1 bin. So I got it for 20 cents. It's definitely not in the best condition. There's definitely some spine ticks, and it could be, all these things could be pressed out, but I mean, a 20-cent find. Haven't been buying too many books, but really happy to get that. With number 47, going along with the theme again with Psylocke, is New Mutants Annual number 2. This is the first US appearance of Psylocke, so that's a cool one to have. I've always liked this cover too, because whenever they bring out those more vibrant, almost neon colors, especially with the pink, to find one like that, always happy to get these. And then my next one, this was number 46 on my list, is a Firestorm number 1. If you'd watched my videos before, I got this at an antique shop, and it's the first appearance of Firestorm. I'd actually never had this book when I was younger, but one of the first comics that I was reading, just based on what my cousins had, was the Fury of Firestorm. So Firestorm was one of the first comics I'd ever read, so to get this, I was really happy to pick it up. See, number 45 on my list, I actually put this one up, is a Marvel Spotlight 32. And it's the first appearance of Spider-Woman, like Jessica Drew. Another cool issue to find. Definitely, I would get this comic if you haven't already gotten it for your collection, because, I mean, the Spider-Man and anything related to the Spider-Verse is pretty hot right now, especially because of the current comics. It's an awesome book. Let's see, my next book, number 43. is New Mutants 87. I actually have 2 copies of this book. But I mean, it's the first appearance of Cable. It's extremely hot right now because he is supposed to be in some upcoming movies. The whole New Mutant stuff. There's a lot of speculation, and I mean, Cable's an awesome character. You've seen him so much. He's been in a lot of toys. So if anyone in the 90s was into comics, they would have known a lot about Cable. So that's a great comic to have. See, number 42, gotta go with this one. And it is my New Teen Titans number 2, the first appearance of Deathstroke, Slade Wilson. And I'm actually kind of surprised that this book isn't as hot as it should be. I know he's going to be in a lot of other stuff. He's already been in Arrow and all these other shows. And he is the character who predates and is the true predecessor of Deadpool. So Deadpool is almost like a parody of Deathstroke. So great comic to have. Very early issue for the New Teen Titans, especially with a lot of other characters. And actually going on with this theme, number 41 is my DC Comics Presents number 26. The first appearance of Cyborg, Raven, and I believe Starfire. And this is a great comic to have in general. Definitely pick it up if you can. I love this book. Then with number 40, I've got Brave and the Bold 54, and this is the first appearance of the Teen Titans. As you can see, this is a pretty beat up copy, but nonetheless, very happy to have this book. In any grade at all. It's a very old book. It's Silver Age, so and the Teen Titans, especially if they do anything great with the Outsider series, that's gonna be pretty big, pretty hot. With number 39, I've gotta go with. I've gotten this fairly recently. I mean, I think I showed it off in a little while ago, but my Deadpool number 1. I was always looking to get this book, and I finally got it, I think, either a month or 2 ago, from a friend of a friend. And this is where he really starts getting the breaking the fourth wall stuff. This is where it gets funny. I would say his true origin in some ways. So, really happy to have that book in my collection. Number 38. This is a book that I find hard to store. It is my Marvel Preview number 4. It's the first appearance of Star-Lord. As you can see, my copy has a ton. I don't know, somebody was really, really trigger happy with the date stamps, because I honestly counted about 6 of them. But this book is cool, and it's extremely hot now that Chris Pratt is Star-Lord, and then because of the whole Guardians hype and everything, it's a cool book to have. If you can find it, and you can actually store it, definitely pick it up. Let's see what else is next. My next book, I believe this is number 37 on my list, is Iron Fist number 14, the first appearance of Sabretooth. Definitely, this is one of the books, honestly, that I bought, I think at least 3 or 4 years ago. I think, honestly, more. Maybe like 5 years ago. I think I overpaid for it. I paid $50 then. I might be able to recoup my money, but it's not in the greatest condition. But first Sabretooth, such a big deal, being that he's one of Wolverine's main villains. And it's an Iron Fist issue, which I find kind of funny that that's where he started. Great pickup from before. See, my number 36. Actually, I haven't showed this off yet because I got it, I believe, last month. But this is a low-grade copy of Avengers 55, the first appearance of Ultron. I just wanted one in my collection, regardless of the grade. I honestly just wanted something to read. Um, Being that he was in the Age of Ultron movie, definitely a good pickup right now. I know that it might probably slow down a bit on this copy, but because it was a low grade, it didn't cost me very much. So, good pickup nonetheless. From before, let's see, my number 35 comic. Let's see, let's start going with some slabs. And it's my Amazing Spider-Man. This is the first appearance, or the first full appearance of Carnage. And he's always been a great villain for Spider-Man. Even in, I believe in the SNES system, they had the Amazing Spider-Man Maximum Carnage game. So he was definitely a big deal, and since I'm ultimately a child of the 90s, great character to have, and a great character to have a comic for. Let's see. Number 34. Oh, okay. This is a cool one. Let's see. X Factor number 6, the first full appearance of Apocalypse. This is a book that should be heating up in due time because of the X-Men Apocalypse movie. I always found it kind of funny that he ended up in an X Factor book, but Apocalypse from the X-Men animated series was always a huge character. I mean, he's one of the strongest, well, supposedly the first mutant, and one of the strongest mutants on the planet, so always a cool thing. Always cool. I mean, he's a technopath, he has all these powers, it's crazy, and I can't wait for the movie. So, let's see, my next one, and this is another one that's dear to my heart, is X-Men 244. This is the first appearance of Jubilee. Jubilee, I think just due to the X-Men animated series that ultimately brought me to Marvel in the first place. That first episode of X-Men animated series was awesome to me, and Jubilee's in the forefront, and I think that's what got me hooked. So to have 2 copies of her first appearance, very happy to have this in my collection. Let's see. The number 2 entry on my list is Forever People number 1. I believe this to actually be the first full appearance of Darkseid. I think there are a lot of panels with him in it, and that's why I consider it that. And I mean, Darkseid is the original Thanos, if you think about it, for DC. He is a big deal, and he will show up. He should show up in the Justice League movie once they start bringing that into the forefront. This book is gonna be big, and I remember I got it this year at least, and I got it for a very cheap price. So pick this up if you can. It could go on the same side as the Iron Man 55. That it's not really, that's unobtainium now. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. This is just another cool character. My number 31 entry. This list is Marvel Superheroes number 12. This is the first appearance of Captain Marvel, and even though I think the Captain Marvel they're going to use in the movie is Carol Danvers, I've always liked this book, and I actually like this original green and white suit as well, so it's a cool thing to have. Very happy to actually have this book, any grade. Let's see, my number 30 entry in this list is another slab, and it is Amazing Spider-Man number 252. This is actually a Canadian edition of the book, being that it is a 75-cent variant, and it is the first black costume in title. And I mean, what can you say? That black costume for Spider-Man during that time period was badass. um, the symbiote costume, and the fact that this was when the symbiote was in the forefront. Um, I'm just happy to have this book in like a 9.2 actually too, because the Canadian edition is pretty rare. I think in CGC at least, I only saw there might have been even less than 100 of these ones graded. So there's a lot less of these Canadian editions around. So glad to have it. Number 29 on my list. It's another great character, and I'm surprised that they haven't put him in there, because I know, yeah, fine. I guess the Nova Corps are kind of Boy Scouts in that regard, but and maybe they're hesitant because of the whole like Green Lantern movie um, flopping. But Nova #1, first appearance of Nova, I'm surprised that Richard Rider or actually I don't even remember who the new Nova is, but I'm surprised he's not, or Sam Alexander, yeah, that's what his name is. Um, Nova is a great character, and I'm surprised that he's not in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet. So hope to see him there. See, my number 28 entry is, I got this with the Avengers 55 that I showed earlier, and it's a super beat up copy of Avengers 57, the first appearance of Vision. I wanted this to read it, and I've always liked this cover, so glad to have it. But it is basically a 0.5. I believe the back cover is missing. Actually, I don't believe so. It is missing. So, good book to have nonetheless. See, my next book is another cool one. Pretty happy that I got this well before he even showed up in the movies. Was Captain America 117, the first appearance of Falcon. Aren't you glad now? I think it's enough time. But yeah, Falcon is an Avenger, so I believe this book is gonna get even more popular, and you don't find it very often. I don't see it very often in comic shops and Comic Con, so a great comic to have in my collection. Let's see, my number 26 entry. This is always one that I've always liked. Is a Silver Surfer #4. The only significance of this book is that everybody says it had a low print run, but it is a classic Silver Surfer versus Thor cover. Like right on the Rainbow Bridge. This thing is a great cover for the Silver Age. You didn't see this very often, and I love these versus covers hero to hero. So really glad that this is in my collection. I got it at NYCC last year. Let's see, my number 26 entry, no, 25 entry, is Silver Surfer #1. This issue looks a lot better than it actually is. The cover is nearly detached, and being that it's a square bound issue makes it even more of an issue storing it. But the cover itself looks pretty good, like color wise. So really glad I was able to pick this up last year. I think I picked it up for $45. So if you can find this book at any grade, go pick it up, because Silver Surfer and the origin of him, always a cool book. And it's one of those 1968 premiere issues. So if you pick up runs of those, definitely get it. See, now I'm in the top 25. Let's go with number 24 is another slab, and it is my first full appearance of Gambit. It is a 9.4 grade, X-Men 266. Gambit, I mean, he's going to be in the X-Men Apocalypse movie. He has his own title movie coming out, and it's Channing Tatum playing him. So I believe this is gonna get even more play, and I call this the Hugh Jackman effect. That at Hulk 181 is completely unobtainium for me now, and I believe this is gonna get the same type of, except for the fact that there are more of these around. This is definitely going to be a hot issue for years to come. So glad I have one now in a slab. Number 23, and this is always a book that I've loved, is my Tomb of Dracula number 10. I picked this up fairly this year, but it was a double-signed issue. There's Marv Wolfman's and Gene Colan's autograph. First appearance of Blade. Blade is awesome. I hope that Blade gets some more play in the cinematic universe if they have access to him. Because even those movies that were out a while back, he's a street-level hero, and there's nothing wrong with vampires and vampire hunters at this point, so it's always a cool thing. Let's see, my next book is Marvel Spotlight number 5, the first appearance of Ghost Rider. This is a book that was always hard to find for me, and I kind of got impatient. There is some water staining in it that I didn't know about, and I believe I probably overpaid for it, but I know it's still a good book to have right now. It's a good Bronze Age key. See the next one. This is number 21 on my list, and it's the first appearance of Iron Fist, Marvel Premiere number 15. Iron Fist, all these other characters. Actually, let's put these together. This is my 21 and 20. These side by side, can't really go wrong. Iron Fist and Luke Cage, heroes for hire, come on. These first appearances are always cool to have. So, really glad I have these in my collection, because I know that they're going to be in the Netflix series at some point, and it's going to be big. See, going below my top 20 already. So, Werewolf by Night 32. First appearance of Moon Knight. I don't know, like, this book has always had a cult following. Mine is a fairly low grade, but I'm glad I have it at all. And I paid, I think, like $35 at the most for it, which at the time I thought was really expensive for a low grade, but this book is all over the place. People love this one. And Moon Knight's just a cool character. Basically Marvel's answer to Batman with DID and schizophrenia. Like, you cannot go wrong with that. So, glad that's in my collection. Number 18. Oh, I freaking love this book. First appearance of Hobgoblin, Amazing Spider-Man 238. Mine was signed by Roger Stern, because he's a local guy for me. He shows up at my local comic shop every so often. And I got this signed at New York Comic Con last year by John Romita Jr. If I could get John Romita Sr.'s autograph on this, I would be so happy. And because I would basically have the creative trio for this book. The tattoos are in there. I've always liked Hobgoblin too, because when Spider-Man had his animated series in the 90s, Hobgoblin was one of the bigger characters. Green Goblin wasn't that big back then. So Hobgoblin was the goblin I knew the most. So glad that this is in my collection. Let's see, what was this? What number is this? 17 in my top. So Avengers number 16. This book I've always liked, because it's the first time Captain America says Avengers Assemble, and it's when Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch join the team. This book should be hotter because of the Age of Ultron movie, but also Scarlet Witch is one of my favorite characters. So this is a big key for me to have in my collection. Glad I have it at all. So number 16 on my list is Amazing Spider-Man 300, the first full appearance of Venom. People cover swipe this book so much. I actually love those Phantom cover swipe variants as well. I have a decent amount of them, actually. And this book, Todd McFarlane, one of his early books with Marvel, it's awesome. Uh, the 300, all this going on right here. Gotta love this book. Next book. This is. Oh, my number 15. Yes. It is my New Mutants 98 first appearance of Deadpool. It's a hot book now. I don't know what's gonna happen with it because it's going too high, but mine is a 6.5. It's not a great condition issue. There's always been some issues here with these, but I went at a time I got it graded. It was cheap when I bought it, so glad I have one at all because it makes no sense to buy one at such high prices now. So glad I have this. Number 14 is my Amazing Spider-Man 121, the first appearance of, what the heck was I talking about there? The death of Gwen Stacy. That is why this is a big issue. This is basically the hearkening of the Bronze Age for Marvel. So, I mean, someone dies in a comic, it's a big deal, and it's Spider-Man's girlfriend. I love this book, and I'm glad I got it last year, because my local comic shop just threw out a number, and I didn't even argue. I just picked it up and left. See, this next book, number 13 in my list, is Tales of Suspense 52, the first appearance of Black Widow. You know this book is hot. She's an Avenger, she's still going to be one, and Scarlett Johansson has played that role wonderfully. She's played it well. Black Widow is an awesome character, so can't go wrong there. Number 12, and I'm happy I have this book now, because I saw a lot out of him in the Avengers Age of Ultron movie right now. But Tales of Suspense 57, the first appearance of Hawkeye. I'm trying to build a Tales of Suspense run from 39 to 99, and this was one of the more expensive books in the run, and I have it. So glad I have this book. See, my number 11 book, you'd think this would be higher, but it's in such bad condition, is my Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos number 1. The first appearance of the Howlers, and especially the first appearance of Sergeant Nick Fury. I think this is one of the books that I was so happy to pick up because you don't ever see it. War comics were just not that popular in the Silver Age. I know this book is in like a 0.5 to 1 condition, but it exists in my collection, and I love this book. Let's see, number 10 in my collection, and I might as well show these all at once. And so basically from 10 to 7 on my list is all these premiere issues. It is, let's see, these issues are Incredible Hulk number 102, Captain America number 100, Invincible Iron Man number 1, and Mighty Thor number 126. These are all these characters' first self-titled issues for their like main ongoing series. The reason why I say that is that Hulk number 1 really is his true first title, but it was a mini-series. And Captain America 100, first self-title in the Silver Age. So it's awesome that these are all the Hulk 102, the Captain America 100, and the Iron Man number 1, all 1968 premiere issues. And then the Thor 126 came out, I think, in 1966. And that's an awesome cover that's cover swiped all the time. So glad to have all of these. And to have them all together. These are like original Avengers and have all their self-titled issues or first self-titled issues. It's a good thing to have in a collection. Let's see. My number 6 book in this run is Fantastic Four number 48. This is the first appearance of Galactus and Silver Surfer. Great book to have. I love Silver Surfer. He's one of my favorite characters. Always liked cosmic heroes. And I don't know, you don't see it as often right now, and Fantastic Four is kind of in a lull, comic value wise, so always good to have this book. Number 5 is Tales of Suspense number 48. And this is the first appearance of Iron Man's red and gold costume. You don't see this, like, he started in Tales of Suspense 39, and you don't see that classic armor that's right behind him actually in that painting until this issue. And I think Steve Ditko was the one who really created this armor, so you would expect Jack Kirby to have been like the main guy, but Steve Ditko's the one that drew it, so cool issue. Number 4 on my list is Amazing Spider-Man 129, the first appearance of Punisher. This book has gotten so much hotter because it got announced that he'd been casted in the season 2 of Daredevil Netflix series. That series, if you haven't watched it, go do it now. It's going to be even better, I believe, in the second season. And it's got Punisher, it's gonna have all these other street level people. I hope Elektra's gonna show up. So, definitely awesome book. Number 3 on my list is a giant size X-Men number 1. First appearance of Colossus, first appearance of Nightcrawler, and of Storm. And I believe Thunderbird as well. And I think people consider this also the second full appearance of Wolverine, so it's a very, very key issue. And because it's a square-bound book, it's a giant size, you don't see him that often, and it's got a lot of story in it. It's a great story. So, let's see, my number 2, and I've been excited to want to show these for a while. Love this book. This is my Daredevil number 1. I'm hyping up the series because I honestly love it, but I was so glad that when I got this at the beginning in May, when I picked this book up for $600, I was so happy. I love Daredevil. He's a great character, and they executed him nearly flawlessly in the series. And I love Kingpin as well, so glad to have this book in my collection. And my number 1 book is Tales of Suspense number 39, the first appearance of Iron Man. This book doesn't show up very often, and I picked it up. It was one of the earliest books I picked up when I started picking up comics again, and I guess when the Iron Man movie came out, and I was able to pick this up for, I believe, $540, so I know it's in pretty beat up shape, but I have it at all in my collection, and Iron Man is my favorite superhero. So, it's number 1 that I'm proud of having. So, thank you for watching this video. Thank you omegashinryuken and Boom City for tagging me, and I'd also like to tag, who else for this video? ETA Nick would be a great person to do a collection video, and I believe I saw Captain Strange Love already do a video. I wanted to tag him. Who else? Captain Barbell would be a great person as well. And let's see, Kevin's Comics. I know he's a new collector, but that'd be awesome to see a top 50 books from Kevin's Comics. So thank you everyone for watching this video, and take care all. It's been a good weekend, and hope you guys had one too. Thanks, bye.